A human?
Yeah, buddy, what's up?
What's this?
Oh, that's hot sauce. We put it on food.
It doesn't seem to carry much nutritional value. What purpose does its addition serve?
Uh, it makes food painful.
Human, I've noticed you become very cautious when peanuts are around, and I was wondering why that's so.
Contact with peanuts could cause me to perish.
Many of your kind consume peanuts without difficulty.
That's correct, but some of us have bodies that will shut down our respiratory systems if they're introduced to us, effectively initiating a self-destruct.
Well, pardon me if that trait seems a little unnecessary.
I have no say in the matter. My body's decided it would rather kill itself than let something like a peanut take me out.
You are as resilient as you are impractical. Human, why do you ignite a confectionery on the anniversary of your creation?
Oh, that's just a harmless ritual for pleasure. Extinguishing of the flames grants a single wish to the exhaler.
Forgive me if that sounds a little unscientific. What sort of desires get fulfilled this way?
Oh, I can't tell you that. Ignorance fuels the magic.
Oh, that makes sense. Magic is simply science you don't understand. Okay, so your device contains software that links you to potential mates within a limited geographical area.
Yes.
And you display to this network physical and biographical representations of yourself in order to gauge potential compatibility.
Mm-hmm.
And once this initial compatibility is confirmed, what steps do you take to maintain it?
Well, mostly we exchange communications until someone decides to vanish forever.
And this gives you a sense of fulfillment?
It does not.
Alright. Human, what is that?
It's a mutated wolf.
It can't seem to intake oxygen properly. Is it ill?
No, we hampered its ability to breathe on purpose.
Why have you done this to a wolf?
I wanted a companion that I could touch and ask rhetorical questions.
I have to go sit down. Human? Human?
Yeah, buddy.
Have you been listening to the same audio file for the past couple hours?
Yeah, occasionally I become so infatuated with a song that it dominates my imagination, so I like to experience it firsthand, over and over.
Oh, so this is your way of paying respects to a piece you admire.
No, I'm trying to overload my love for it so I don't have to think about it anymore.
Why is this necessary? Does the song not bring you joy?
Of course, but joy can be a curse as much as a blessing.
Human, I've noticed you've been trying to contact one of your former mates. Do you have unfinished business that needs discussing?
Not exactly. Though we are no longer intimate or committed to each other, I still wish to keep the platonic portion of our relationship alive, as I value it greatly.
The platonic part is the only one you wish to nurture?
Yes, that's correct.
Human, that's a lie on both of our planets, and you know it.
Yep. Hey buddy, me and some friends are going out fishing.
What does that activity entail?
Oh, it's just the capture of specific aquatic life with the sacrifice of an even smaller life.
And you do this for consumption?
Not today. Today we simply wish to control their mortality, if only for an instant, to prove that we can.
That sounds quite pleasurable.
Really?
No.
Hey buddy.
Yes, human?
I'm sorry if this sounds xenophobic, but you're not researching humans so you can find a better way to destroy us, are you?
Human, I'm not sure how to tell you this, but there's no other intelligent species in the known universe that chooses to solve their problems by killing them.
You're telling me there's no alien wars?
No, we find it's less horrible just to talk things out.
And how do I know that's not just a lie so we'll let down our guard?
Well, let me put it this way. The most efficient way to exterminate mankind would be to just wait for you to do it.
I can live with that.
Human, I heard you mention that one of your companions was running a marathon. Could you explain to me what that is?
Yeah, it's a 26-mile race.
That's an incredible distance, though with your 10-based numerical system it seems a tad arbitrary.
Well, the original marathon was run out of necessity. A messenger had to cover that distance in order to save his town.
Ah, so in doing so he proved a human's capability of performing such a feat.
No, it killed him instantly.
If the act was fatal, why would anyone else attempt such a thing?
To claim their superiority over him.
I'm sensing a trend.
Human, why is it so common for members of your species to reiterate that you should be drinking water? We often forget. You forget to consume the nutrient most vital to your continued existence? Do you also forget to breathe?
Well, that's called sleep apnea and or panic attacks, and yeah.
This is the apex predator. Okay, explain it to me one more time.
Alright, imagine a car. Take away all of the safety features and 2 of the wheels. That's a motorcycle.
So it's a vehicle that travels at the same ridiculous speeds but offers none of the protection or stability.
Bingo.
So what is the advantage?
Slightly faster commutes. Sometimes.
Yes, a trophy surpassing life itself. Human, I noticed a container of pineapple in the cooling unit. Are you conducting some sort of experiment?
No, that's my snack for later.
But it's filled with highly corrosive acid.
Yeah, but so am I.
Well, I suppose.
I've just got to eat it before it eats me. Let's see whose acid reigns supreme.
Human, what exactly is the point of this reality television show?
The producers of the show find the most unlikable people they can and isolate them together in order to create extremely contentious confrontations.
And what about that setup do you find so entertaining?
We find pleasure in their general displeasure as well as a mutual dissatisfaction with their limited successes.
And no part of that sounded unnecessarily cruel to you?
If you're uncomfortable, we can stop watching it.
Well, maybe we'll stop after just one more. Human, I'm having trouble understanding the validity of this spelling bee competition.
Well, the contestants use their knowledge of history and problem solving in order to find the proper sequence of letters.
I can comprehend the procedure. What baffles me is why spelling in a language you are fluent in is exciting in any way.
Well, it's only exciting in the English language because it contains very little consistency or structure.
And why was it designed that way?
Because instead of developing one singular language, they took 4 or 5 different languages and mashed them together in a very clumsy way.
And you're content with this system as it stands?
No, it's infuriating, but, it's already on all our stuff, so.
So it's not so much content as it is complicit.
Yeah, that's the word of the day.
Human, why are you so emotionally invested in this sports program?
Well, I live vicariously through the players, so their victories feel like my victories, and their failures my failures.
I see. And who are you living vicariously through today?
Well, today is a special day. My most favorite team is playing my most hated team.
And how has this team earned the epitome of your adoration?
They were the nearest team when I started paying attention.
And the other? The one that you despise?
They were the second nearest team when I started paying attention.
And for this reason they deserve your disdain.
I desire nothing less than their total annihilation.
I'll just mimic your lead. Human, why is it that you shed your upper garment for so many photos of yourself?
I'm simply introducing an additional perspective that people might find aesthetically pleasing.
Is this some form of mating ritual?
It can be, but rarely is. The hypothetical desirability is more important in this particular instance.
So your ego is sustained completely by the imaginary?
Essentially.
Why is being partially disrobed so important to this procedure?
The fleshier, the sexier.
That's a common belief here?
We found success with it, yeah.
Human, what's this electronic game you've been playing?
This is called The Sims. The purpose of this game is to guide virtual human beings through everyday life.
A fascinating concept. Could you give me some examples?
Well, you help them find careers and raise families, as well as try your hand at architectural design.
Well, that sounds very creative and meditative. What sort of life have you built for your virtual humans?
Well, I mostly drowned them in their pools and set their houses on fire.
Are they crying out in terror?
Yes, they cry out for their God to save them, but their suffering amuses me too much. They are not the first, nor will they be the last.
Human, I've noticed you've been engaged with this particular program for quite some time. Might I ask what it's called?
Oh yeah, this one's called How to Get Away with Murder.
Pardon?
Relax, it's just a title. It's not instructional or educational in any way.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, the serial killer documentaries I watch are much more helpful on this particular subject. Of course they are.
Human, I understand you've made great strides in the fields of AI technology. This must be quite exciting for you. By what percentage does it outperform human capabilities?
It doesn't at all. It performs tasks and responsibilities significantly worse than a human being could or would.
Oh, well, surely it's more efficient and offers safer conditions.
It's actively accelerating the destruction of our planet to an alarming degree.
Well, it must at least be making your lives better and more convenient.
It's putting thousands of people out of work.
Will that free them up to live happier lives in accordance with their dreams? Human, there is something awkward I must discuss with you, but I feel it's important that I speak my mind.
Okay, buddy. What's up?
Your extraterrestrial movies make me uncomfortable.
Really? Why?
Basically, all of them are about how alien life forms are grotesque, disgusting, savage monsters.
Well, they're just movies, bud. They're not real. We made them before we knew anything about you.
You don't feel like you might be projecting a little bit with these movies?
Elaborate.
Well, these movies make beings like myself out to be the villains, yet we are not the acid sacks that murder by the thousands because of boredom, insecurity, and arbitrary rules.
Okay, I see your point. Can we keep Star Trek?
Oh, of course, Star Trek's great.
Hey buddy, get excited. I'm taking you to an amusement park.
What makes it more amusing than your standard park?
Many things, though our day will mostly consist of standing in lines.
What is amusing about that?
It's not. That will be the worst part of our day despite it taking 90% of the time. Standing in line is simply the payment that you make to have the real fun, other than the actual payment that you make, which is a large sum of money.
And what does this payment purchase us?
We will get into a vehicle and then be dropped from a tremendous height to safely simulate plummeting to one's death.
Why?
Buddy, you haven't truly learned to love life until you flirted with death. Hey buddy, could you do me a favor and make a phone call for me? I'm too afraid to do it myself.
What?
Yes, the idea of making an appointment with someone over the phone is so uncomfortable to me I am unable to do it.
This is it. This is it. Over everything. Cars, skydiving, consuming multiple toxins every day, taming wild animals on a regular basis. This is where you draw the line.
I don't make the rules, buddy. I'm simply bound by them.
You dare to stand there and imply to me that your life and behavior is dictated by any sort of logic or structure or regulation?
Rules don't have to make sense to be followed, buddy.
Give me the phone. Human, why are you staring at that rectangle?
I find this particular pattern of light waves soothing.
Why?
I can't tell you why or how.
All I know is that I do.
Well, surely there must be some explanation.
Perhaps, but not everything requires an explanation. Sometimes it's enough to simply feel. Give it a shot.
I understand.
Hey buddy, you want me to check your horoscope?
Well, that will depend on what that is.
Using the positions of the stars, we can predict future events that will happen to you.
I don't think that you can.
Of course we can. We can also use them to pinpoint specific details about your personality based on your date of birth.
Human, I have been all over this galaxy, and I can assure you that no such scientific method exists.
Yeah, but that's just what I would expect a Leo to say. So a bank is an institution that we store our money in. You know, the system of credit that's vital for the trade of all goods, services, and necessities. And the bank then pays us a small percentage for use of that money.
Okay.
And that percentage is so tiny that it's basically negligible and completely non-negotiable. And it's also paid for by the other investments of people in the system, so they are essentially paying us with our own money. And then they take that money and loan it back to us at much higher interest rates, so we are essentially paying for use of our own money.
I see.
And because of the cyclical nature of this exchange, because we keep paying for our own money, the system collapses on itself about once every 10 years.
Sure.
So then the government takes our tax dollars and gives it to these institutions so they continue to operate, allowing us to fund the business that sells our own money back to us. Any questions?
Yes. How does all of that make you feel? Human, what social activity are you most eager to return to once these restrictions are lifted?
Probably going to bars.
And what sort of rituals do you perform at these bars?
We ingest mild toxins and engage in conversation.
Oh, well, can you not simply do that in your own dwelling? What necessitates moving to a separate location?
Well, doing it at a bar is 5 to 10 times more expensive, and the noise makes conversations much more difficult to maintain.
I'm sorry, so what is the appeal?
There is not much reward, only expense. Of course, there is the possibility that a potential mate might find me physically appealing.
How often has this occurred?
Not once.
Human, are you experiencing discomfort?
Oh, I'll be fine, buddy. I just burned my tongue.
How did you damage such a secluded area of your body?
I decided to eat my food before it cooled down to a safe consumable temperature.
Why would you do that? Was time a factor for the completion of your meal?
No, I was just hungry and I wanted to eat, so I ate.
But by refusing to wait a minuscule amount of time, you have not only damaged yourself and caused yourself pain, you have prevented yourself from further enjoying meals in the near future.
I would never let a little thing like suffering or consequences get in the way of getting exactly what I want in the moment that I want it.
Noted. Human, could you tell me what traits are deemed most attractive for your species? I'm having trouble finding unanimous consensus.
Well, while there are some consistencies among certain groups, attraction is too subjective to be constrained to anything so concrete.
Could you give me some examples of the first attractions you've ever felt?
Well, growing up, I was mostly attracted to drawings.
Drawings?
Yeah.
Why would you prefer drawings of humans to actual humans? They were drawings of humans, right? They were drawings of humans, right? Sometimes. But surely that was simply one phase of your life. It's different now, right?
Hey buddy, I'm going out to a casino.
And what will this journey entail for you?
I will play a series of games in an attempt to walk out with more currency than I came in with.
That feat must require a great deal of skill and experience.
The games are almost exclusively based off of chance.
So what can you do to assure your victory?
I will have little effect on the outcome. The games are heavily rigged against you. The odds of winning even a single one are quite low, and to emerge victorious, you must win a series of them consistently over a long period of time, as well as having the will to actually leave.
Why would anyone choose to play an unwinnable game?
You are baited into believing you are the only one who can overcome such a system. You are given enough hope and dopamine to believe that you stand out above the rest, despite there being nothing special about you.
You understand the bait and the trap and yet still willingly participate?
But I could be the winner, though.
Is that not a lie manufactured by this company to get your money?
Yeah, but what if it's true? Hey, buddy, I'm thinking about getting a cat. Do you have thoughts?
The cat being one of nature's most perfect killing machines?
Yeah, has razor-sharp claws and teeth, can see in the dark, can fit through any gap larger than its head, moves completely silently, and is pound for pound 6 times stronger than a human being.
So what is the draw?
The non-pointy parts are really soft.
Human, that sounds terrifying.
Oh, come on, buddy. A cat would still only be the second most dangerous predator in this house.
Oh no, I'm number 3.
Buddy, I know that you've been having a difficult time comprehending a lot of the nuances of our society, but I want you to know that we are not without kindness. For instance, we've developed charities, enterprising organizations and individuals that raise revenues to support those in need.
Who is in need of such services?
The impoverished, the physically and mentally disabled, damaged ecological habitats, these organizations raise awareness and support for those who have been left out by society.
So does their mere existence not represent a great failing of the society as a whole?
What drew you to that conclusion?
Why are their fates at the mercy of the whims and successes of a few individuals? Why have they been left behind from the society? Is it not the community's responsibility to simply take care of them in the first place?
What? You can see me trying, right?
Well, yes, humans are wonderful at trying, but I'd prefer to see them succeed.
Human, are you aware that there are several household tasks that you have been neglecting recently?
Yeah, buddy, I'm sorry. I'll get to them.
Might I inquire into the reason of your hesitancy?
I mean, honestly, I just don't find the experience of doing chores very enjoyable.
What enjoyable things have you been doing in the interim?
In most of my free time, I've been playing a virtual simulation.
Simulating what?
Right now I'm collecting minor trophies, and I do that by performing various jobs. I go to the store and collect supplies, I tidy up homes, I find lost objects, menial tasks.
And that you find enjoyable?
I've gotten about 400 hours worth of enjoyment so far.
And the real life tasks would take you
Maybe 2.
Human, our dwelling is infested with ants.
And I will deal with that right after I find all 900 ants in my simulation.
Human, I apologize. My objective is not to be difficult, but could you explain it to me again?
It's alright, buddy. I'll take it from the top. Thousands of years ago, a prominent religious figure was said to have been born in the Middle East.
Yes.
And so to celebrate this, we took a completely unrelated religious holiday and renamed it in his honor.
Okay.
And we made the official mascot of this religious holiday a soda pop advertisement.
Why? Why do you choose to live this way?
Free stuff, huh?
Human, I noticed you drink this particular beverage every single day. Could you tell me why that is?
My coffee? Oh, it's just ground up cocoa beans and hot water. I drink it for the caffeine.
You consume this beverage specifically for the toxin that it creates as a deterrent to avoid being consumed?
Well, it suppresses the chemical in my brain that creates fatigue.
Would not a healthy night's rest simply do that for you?
But the coffee is quicker, more expensive, and less effective.
I don't think you should drink that, Human.
Well, probably not, but I'm addicted to it. Doesn't even really work anymore.
I don't know if I will ever understand your aversion to your best interests. Human, why don't you play with this children's toy you have purchased?
Because it's collectible. Removing it from its packaging will decrease its value.
Oh, so you plan to sell it for profit?
No, I simply wish to have it.
If you have no plans to sell it, maybe you should just use it.
No, it's too important to me that it retains its value.
Human, if you are never going to sell it, then it contains no monetary value, only value as entertainment.
Well, I find it entertaining watching it sit on my shelf collecting value that I will never cash in on.
Don't touch it. Good news, buddy. We're on the fast track to colonize Mars.
Human, Mars is a desolate, lifeless planet. What benefit could you possibly hope to gain by going there?
This world is about to become uninhabitable to us. We need a backup plan.
Why do you not spend your energy taking care of the planet you are already on, that already has everything you need to survive?
Because like 3 people said we can't.
And these people are
The ones making all of their money off of the planet's destruction and the colonization of Mars.
human. If you cannot upkeep a planet that has given you life, what makes you think you can go to a new one and create it? It would be to your benefit to learn how to live well on this planet before traveling to new ones.
Buddy, are you suggesting that we stop letting a powerful few exploit our resources and our people and instead come together as a species to live in harmony with our environment? Because that would never work.
No, that's exactly what would work! Human, what are you watching?
Championship boxing match.
What are they doing?
Beating each other up.
To serve what end?
The winner will be declared the best at beating people up.
And that title is desired because...
Because then everybody will want to beat them up to prove that they are in fact the best at beating people up. They'll also get some money.
So they're getting paid to bully each other.
Yeah, and think about how many people do it for free.
Then I want a royalty check. Human, why have the tops of certain automobiles been removed?
Those are called convertibles. By removing the roof, they offer several advantages.
Intriguing, such as
Lack of privacy, decreased protection from the elements, from solar radiation, wind resistance, and various flying debris, as well as being more vulnerable to attack and thievery by making the top made of cloth, which is much easier to break into.
You consider those advantages?
I never said the advantages were for the driver.
Human, how soon can we move into our new dwelling?
Sorry, buddy, I was just coming to tell you. Our application was denied. Our credit score wasn't high enough.
I was not under the impression that we were being scored. On what exactly?
A credit score is supposed to tell you how responsible you are at handling your money.
Well, I can certainly understand the desire for a responsible tenant. How do we prove our worth?
Well, the best way is to spend large sums of someone else's money and then repay it as quickly as possible.
That seems like an unnecessary step. Why would we borrow money from someone else only to pay it back? Why not simply spend the money that we currently have?
You're showing that you can handle debt, and the only way to show that you can get out of debt is to get into debt.
Is not the best way to get out of debt to simply avoid it in the first place?
Yeah.
So why play this game?
So the ultra-wealthy can keep the lower and middle classes trapped in an endless cycle of poverty and expand their own influence and power.
And you're okay with this?
The system's greatest victims are its most passionate supporters.
Maybe I don't want to know.
Okay, buddy, we're gonna play a game called Dungeons and Dragons, an experience where we tell a collective story using only our imagination and mathematics.
Okay, explain to me the appeal of such a game.
By untethering ourselves from the limitations of reality, we are allowed to live vicariously in a world of our own design as any person or creature that we wish.
And what have you chosen to live as in this world?
My character is known as a bard, a being that draws power from wit, charm, and artistic expression. In addition, they are famous for their knowledge and competency in all things flirtatious and erotic.
I see, and you have chosen this personification because such things are unreachable to you in your current state.
Yeah, I guess. Hey buddy, I want to show you this video.
Very well. I see this human is painstakingly stacking ceramic tiles in precarious positions.
Yeah, keep watching.
He seems to have created quite an intricate pattern. This must have taken him a very long time to complete.
Almost there.
Humans truly are capable of incredible things given enough patience and perseverance. Oh no, he's accidentally toppled one down, knocking the rest over.
No, buddy, he meticulously set them up that way with the intent of knocking them over. It's called the domino effect.
His only goal in creation was destruction?
You didn't find his efforts and futility immensely satisfying?
To be honest, I feel more of a connection with the word futility than satisfaction. Human, I must inform you that I will not be traveling in your automobile any longer.
Why? The vehicle's perfectly safe.
The integrity of the vehicle does not fuel my aversion. The incredible careless nature in which your kind operates them does.
I think you might be overreacting a bit.
Is that so? You are moving at speeds never meant to be reached by any land mammal, yet you do not use your signals. You spend much of your time engrossed in your communication devices, not looking at the road in front of you, and I once saw you consume an entire meal while you drove with your knees.
Buddy, I'm certified by the state to operate that vehicle. I took a test and everything.
You took one test, one time, as a child.
Yeah, do you expect us to continuously prove that we belong on the road by following every traffic law at all times?
Do you not?
Buddy, I don't know how much simpler I can make this. A very popular religion states that a man was killed by the government for spreading liberal ideologies, and then 3 days later, he became a zombie. And so, to celebrate this on a mass level, we invented a rabbit that lays eggs made out of candy.
Your words are like salt water. The more I take in, the less satisfied I become.
Buddy, tonight I am going to attempt an eating challenge.
An eating challenge?
Yes, I will attempt to consume more food than should be physically possible for an individual in a time setting.
To what end?
Simply for the recognition that I was able to.
So you will punish your body to overcome an obstacle that is self-imposed and entirely unnecessary.
Buddy, almost all of our obstacles are self-imposed and entirely unnecessary.
Why do you do that? No other species does that!
To assign ourselves an artificial value, thus giving us an undeserved sense of superiority over others. Plus, in this case, you get a t-shirt that says, "To beat your boredom, eat your boredom," with a burrito challenge. A burrito challenge. A burrito challenge. To beat your boredom, eat your boredom, with a burrito challenge. Buddy, a burrito challenge.
Human, I don't mean to be rude, but I've observed you struggling with very simple arithmetic, yet it is my understanding that your education should have prepared you to solve much more complex equations and formulas.
It's correct that at one point I was capable of understanding and performing a much higher level of mathematics, but a lot of specific knowledge doesn't follow you past the basic schooling program into your adulthood.
That system feels fairly inefficient then. Well, our schooling system is actually designed to teach us skills more so than trivia. I don't need to know specific formulas in my adult life. What math teaches me is problem-solving skills. I don't have to write research papers in my everyday life, but it is important that I know how to research, how to find sources and back up evidence for my beliefs. So where your schooling failed in specifics, it succeeded in ability, and now you have been adequately trained to join society upon finishing.
No, I possess very few of those abilities to this day.
But you said
that was the intent, not the effect. My schooling only gave me imposter syndrome and a praise kink.
Human, due to your current state of hunger, I have taken the liberty of boiling some baby chicken food for you.
Thanks, buddy, but I don't love it that you call it that.
Well, designating a separate name for it will not change what it is. I've also covered it in a painful acid solution.
See, now that sounds delicious.
Human, I understand that there is an election coming up. It was my understanding that the democracy of choosing the leader of freedom. Oh my. Human, this is not meant to be impolite, but I must inquire. In a world full of terrifying creatures, ones with super strength, flight, venom, and all sorts, how is it that your kind rose to be the top?
Pointy technology and patience.
You will have to elaborate further.
Oh, it's very simple. We put all our chips into items that were pointy and sharp, we waited for animals to get tired, and we poked them to death.
Okay, well that explains how you survive, but not how you dominate.
The pointy technology grew to be quite advanced.
You really just poked several species into extinction.
Yeah, mostly just for fun.
Well, here's hoping you never get bored around me. Human, what activities will we be participating in at this event?
We're gonna set up fireworks, buddy.
Fireworks, I'm hoping that's just a clever brand.
No, they're bombs.
Well, I assume you at least all have special training to deal with such devices.
No. And we're all gonna be intoxicated while we use them.
Do people die using these?
All the time.
Why do you enjoy such things?
Destruction is our favorite pastime.
Human, remind me the name of this game that you are watching?
It's football.
See, I thought I heard you refer to it as that before, but it was my understanding that football is played with one's feet.
I understand your confusion. I need to be more specific. I'm watching American football. Football to the rest of the world is played with one's feet. American football is almost exclusively played with hands.
Then would handball not be a more appropriate term?
Handball is already its own sport. It's very similar to football, but it's played with hands.
So what is American football?
As stubborn as it is poorly named.
Human, could you tell me more about this university organization that you were a member of?
Oh, you mean my fraternity? Well, it's a semi-exclusive group that offers an additional form of camaraderie as well as the promise of business connections.
And how do you join such a program?
Well, you have to pay a hefty fee and undergo a period of extreme mental and physical torture.
That entry process doesn't sound inviting at all. How do they maintain membership?
With the understanding that after you survive the torture, you get to do it to somebody else.
I don't know that I'll ever understand it, but it does remain consistent with about everything else. Human, can you explain to me what furries are?
Of course, buddy. You see,
Gotcha.
Now that I have your attention,
Look at my new tattoo. I was gonna get it to celebrate 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, but that's like taking kind of a long time, so I just got it as a birthday present.
Human, could you elaborate on this holiday once more for me?
it's Halloween, the day we celebrate things that frighten us.
It's an intriguing thing to celebrate. What is the origin of such an occasion?
It comes from an ancient Celtic ritual where they believe the dead crossed over into the land of the living for just one night.
And the main method of celebration for this is...
Playing make-believe and ingesting toxins at an incredibly increased rate.
Why have you chosen this particular routine?
Well, if the dead are coming over here, we might as well meet them halfway.
So, buddy, tonight I thought we'd watch a horror movie.
And a horror movie is...
Exactly as the name suggests, it's a film that uses grotesque and disturbing imagery and concepts in order to elicit feelings of discomfort and anxiety.
What possible reason could exist where you would purposely make yourself uncomfortable and afraid?
Mankind has always defined itself by our ability to overcome great struggle and conflict, but we have since become the dominant force on this planet. There is nothing left to challenge us. We have become gods among this mortal plane, and the only thing left for a god to fear is their own actions and imagination.
Anyway, this movie is called Alien.
Human, I just discovered a truly terrifying creature. It's called a horse. It's strong enough to tow several thousand pounds. It can strike with enough force to shatter bones with ease of even large predators. And it can bite hard enough to sever flesh even though it's a herbivore.
Oh yeah, we ride those things.
Why would you get anywhere near such a beast?
We want it to be faster and taller.
Well, I suppose I could see the strategic value of such a partnership in terms of survival.
Oh, we don't really need them for survival anymore. Now we mostly just make them dance and race, and when they disappoint us, we turn them into glue.
How would a horse disappoint you?
By getting injured from any one of the brutal tasks we make it do.
What kind of life is that?
The only one that matters. One in service to us.
Human, I have an inquiry about this vegetation you have brought into our dwelling.
Ah yes, the houseplant, buddy. I understand it may seem fruitless, pardon the pun, to erect enclosures that separate us from nature only to bring nature into us anyway, but there are many benefits to having plants in one's dwelling. The decor itself can be very calming for one's mental state, the aromas can be very pleasant, and the act of taking care of them and issuing a routine for them can be very helpful for the soul.
That's all quite lovely, Human, but that was not my question. My question is, are they supposed to be dead?
Oh, Well, they're not dead. They just probably need some water. It's been a couple weeks. Oh, so in exchange for providing you all those benefits, they require only a very minimal amount of effort. Are you gonna do that now, or? I mean, yeah, I'll probably get around to it eventually, later, definitely later. Human, have you considered that perhaps this enclosure protects nature from you?
Oh, buddy, could you open this for me, please?
Yes, certainly.
Thanks, but I loosened it up. Yes, as that was the full limitation of your strength. No, that's not the full limitation of my strength. I could have gotten it open by myself. No, it would appear that my presence and abilities were entirely necessary for you to gain access to your bean paste. No, listen, okay, I didn't need your help. Then why did you ask for it? Do we have a problem? Do we? No, we don't. I'm sorry. I was being insecure. Thank you for helping me. Did you call this bean paste?
Human, you appear to be in distress. I'll be alright, buddy. I just consumed dairy recently. Why should that be such a problem? Is that not a common consumable item? Well, some of us are lactose intolerant, so we are incapable of properly digesting certain animal byproducts. The result is moderate to severe internal pain and the expulsion of unpleasant gases. With such consequences, why not simply cease your consumption of such a substance? Is a moment's pleasure not worth the continued suffering of myself and others? Who asks that?
That's an interesting outer garment, human.
Oh, thanks, buddy. It's made from another creature's skin. I like it because it makes me look tougher.
And what led you to that conclusion?
Well, can you think of anything more intimidating than stealing someone else's skin?
No, I cannot.
Okay, I have a standard deck of cards. They are in a random order, as you saw me do earlier. Now take one completely of your own volition. Now replace it in an arbitrary position. Okay, now I will randomize the cards again, and your card is at the bottom.
So what just happened?
I told you a series of lies.
Okay, what do I do now?
Try to figure out exactly when and where I lied.
And what is the outcome if I am successful?
You'll ruin the entire experience.
And if I fail?
You'll spend the rest of your life in ignorance. Ta-da.
Human, when you were recounting a story earlier, it contained several inaccuracies. Was this intentional deceit?
No, buddy, I told it exactly as I remembered it.
Then why were there so many mistakes?
The human's memory is very fallible and suggestible. We often fill in gaps without realizing it, thus altering our realities.
That sounds highly problematic.
Only when used for legal trials, abusive relationships, and the rise of oppressive governments by manipulating history.
Which occurs
Often.
It does not disturb you to know that your entire existence is mostly a falsehood you have created?
Well, there are benefits. I was the coolest guy in high school.
Hey buddy, we're playing Monopoly if you want in.
I shouldn't ask, but what is this game?
It's a board game originally designed to be a critique of capitalism, but has since been absorbed into it and used to celebrate it instead.
And how do you play?
You rent out property at extremely unfair rates until you've driven all of your friends and family into inescapable poverty.
And why is that enjoyable?
I never said it was enjoyable. There is no merriment to be found in Monopoly, only ruthlessness and rage.
Then I think I will pass.
Well, if you change your mind, we will be playing for the next 13 hours.
Human, thank you for taking me to this museum, but what are we looking at exactly?
The remains of an Egyptian ruler.
Oh, I was under the impression most of your cultures have their own specific rituals for dealing with the deceased. Is this part of it?
Oh no, we defiled and desecrated their actual religious practices so we could bring it over here and profit off of it.
And you find this appropriate behavior?
Well, in our defense, we only display the ones we didn't eat. And humans continue to have the most offensive defense of any species. Hey buddy, how are you enjoying the museum?
I must admit, human, I'm having a very pleasant time. To be in a place where so many societies have come together to share their culture with each other, it's very nice to see.
Oh, well, it's not shared, it's stolen.
It's what now?
It's stolen from colonial eras.
And these civilizations are okay with you profiting off of their stolen artifacts?
No.
Are you making plans to return them?
No.
Are you at the very least enriching your lives by appreciating other cultures and finding common ground between the two of you?
Mostly we just look at the pretty stuff and then keep walking.
You could have just said no again.
Human, you seem out of sorts. Are you well?
Yeah, buddy, I'm fine. I just woke up from a nap and I don't quite have all of my spatial awareness or motor functions at full capacity right now.
Is not the purpose of extra sleep to improve your overall functional capacity?
The immediate effects of the sleep are entirely unpredictable. All that is for certain is that it will surely affect my ability to go to sleep this evening, and thus affecting my energy levels for tomorrow.
That doesn't seem like much of a reward. Why not simply wait for the evening's rest?
I will take any and every opportunity to be unconscious for as long as I possibly can. It is the only time of the day when I experience true joy.
That I understand. I also feel much more at ease when humans are unconscious.
Happy New Year, buddy. Today's the day we celebrate the continuation of this planet and its inhabitants.
Yes, it's continuation despite your best efforts.
What was that?
Nothing. Human, I have a question, but first I have to clarify some of my findings if you have a second.
Of course, buddy. What do you need?
I just wanted to get confirmation on some common human items. Your main method of travel involves utilizing the power of explosions.
Controlled combustion for forward movement, yes.
Many of your nations possess enough nuclear firepower to end all life on the planet several times over.
Kept under outdated safety and security, yes.
At any point, completely unprompted, blood could pool in your brain, killing you instantly.
It's possible.
And remind me of your greatest fear?
Clowns.
Which is just a regular human in a colorful outfit.
Don't remind me. Getting shivers.
It should be humorous, but it's even more terrifying.
Just like clowns. Okay, so now you've been successfully blinded and disoriented.
Yes, indeed I have.
Which means you are now ready to receive your club.
I am now holding a club.
Somewhere in your immediate proximity lies the constructed visage of a beloved children's character. While disoriented and blinded, attempt to find this construction and beat it mercilessly with the club in your hand.
Huh?
You must pummel this creation mercilessly until its insides spill to the floor, at which point we will signal you to stop, allowing our young a chance to swarm the area and devour the insides in a ravenous rampage.
I'm not sure that this is an intelligent idea.
Please, as if associating violence with rewards is a bad thing to teach kids.
Human, as you have requested for your entertainment media session, I have brought you a bowl of corn.
Thank you, buddy. But, could you do me one more quick favor?
Yes, certainly. Could you irradiate this until its density decreases and then cover it in milk, fat, and small rocks? Yes. Yes, why not? There are worse things. Human, why have you done this?
It's called a practical joke, buddy. It's a tradition in which I non-consensually humiliate and demean you for my own personal enjoyment.
And that's it?
That's it.
Human, you seem quite tense today. Is something wrong?
Nothing's wrong, buddy. I just have a task I need to complete.
And this task is of great importance?
No, it's quite menial.
Oh, perhaps it is time-consuming to finish.
No, I could have it done in minimal time once I start.
Well, it sounds like this is nothing to worry about. You should just relax.
I will be unable to relax until I complete it.
Do you have time to do that now?
I have all day.
So, do it now.
I will not.
You will not?
I will continue to sit here and stress about it for the next 8 hours.
But...
But
My decision is final. Hey buddy, I just wanted you to know that 1992 called and it wants its haircut back.
A specific revolution of the planet has contacted me. What do I do with this information?
No, buddy, I'm making a witty observation at your expense for the sake of humor. It's a roast.
Your enjoyment is found in ridicule? That seems unnecessarily unkind.
Buddy, humor is necessary for joy, and it's found in the exploration of truth, both malicious and benign. It is only through the confrontation of that truth that we can hope to move forward. We can't run from it. Come on, why don't you give it a try?
You suffer in quiet peril as you watch the world consume itself with hatred and destruction. Your pursuit of goodness and benevolence has left you with nothing but isolation as you watch those that you thought were human become monsters before your very eyes. Your sanity is holding on by a mere thread.
Maybe we should have started with knock-knock jokes.
Human, I found a common ideal in your media of the great lengths and sacrifices your kind might make for a loved one. Love is one of the most potent emotions we are capable of feeling. We would die for love. We would kill for love. We would go into abject poverty, give up our careers, sacrifice our body parts. We have yet to find the limits of the affection for the ones we truly care about. Would you wash and put away your dishes immediately after using them rather than letting them sit in the sink for 6 days?
And put them away.
So the limit was a little closer than you thought. Human, why do you attack yourself so often in the hopes of eliciting a positive and often humorous response?
Oh, that's just self-deprecating humor, buddy. It's a common form of comedy in which I offer up negative aspects or experiences about my life for the enjoyment of others.
Why would others find humor in your negativity?
Comedy is a tool for relating to one another, bringing us together through our shared experiences, and the strongest consistent in every human's life is misery.
That realization seems rather sad. Why does that make you laugh?
Because the alternative is to cry.
Yes, well, that's my go-to. Human, I believe your awakening signal is malfunctioning. I heard it go off several times this morning. I'd be happy to take a look at it for you if you wish.
Oh, don't worry about that, buddy. My alarm clock's not broken. I simply set several alarms in the morning so I can derive pleasure from turning them off.
You purposely set several warnings for yourself because you find ignoring them satisfying.
Oh, buddy, there's nothing quite like being given a warning, setting it aside, and continuing to do the thing that they told you not to.
As it pertains to sleep?
Yeah, sure.
Then it's quite lucky I don't have to do that, because living here, I never would. Human, I have a question on an inconsistency I've been finding.
Yeah, shoot.
Now, many members of your species consume the flesh of other creatures for nourishment.
Yes.
But in modern society, you typically remove yourself from the butchering process, as connecting the meat to a once living creature can feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is, why don't you use this custom with crustaceans?
What do you mean?
Well, with crustaceans, you are not just served the meat, you are served the entire carcass, which you make an event out of tearing apart with your bare hands.
Oh, I see your confusion. We can mutilate those things because they're ugly.
The reason you can take a living creature, boil it alive, and then tear it apart with your bare hands has to do with its physical appearance?
Yeah, only the aesthetically pleasing deserve sympathy.
You've answered more questions than I've asked.
Hey buddy, this weekend, you want to jump out of a plane with me?
Human, are you asking me to commit joint suicide with you?
No, ideally we would survive, though we can't guarantee it.
Can you truly think of nothing better to do with your time?
Well, when you reach the top of all life on the planet, the only direction left is down.
I do not know what is more terrifying, the fact that you are so quick to plummet, or the fact that you think this is the best you can do. Human, you don't seem optimal today. Is something troubling you?
A little bit, buddy. I just didn't get very much sleep last night.
I see. Are the symptoms of an insufficient rest cycle extreme?
Oh, just a little fatigue, some mild headaches.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Lack of appetite, increased rate of aging, impaired cognitive function, in extreme cases, hallucinations, insanity, and death.
The outside force preventing you from completing this ritual must have been quite fantastic.
Indeed. I was looking at recordings of cats.
You sacrifice the integrity of your most vital organ for recordings of cats.
I like their little paws.
Human, what are those new drinks you purchased?
You mean the soda? It's watered down syrup pumped full of carbon dioxide.
Human, carbon dioxide is fatal to you.
Only if inhaled, and the way it's utilized in the soda just makes it more difficult to drink.
It still seems like such an odd thing to create. Does the mixture hydrate you better than water?
Soda dehydrates you.
You've given me all of the answers, and yet I will never understand. Human, what is the marking on your chest for?
What, this? It's called a tattoo. It's permanent body artwork.
Why permanently alter your body in such a manner?
Well, there are certain symbols that have great cultural or personal significance. This one specifically is a promise to myself that I will never self-terminate. I keep it close to my heart to show that it will keep on beating.
Ah, I see. And what of your second marking?
Oh, you mean the one right above my genitalia? It's a picture of famous comic book character The Thing with a speech bubble that reads, "It's slobbering time." That one's self-explanatory.
Hi, I'm Korean Beef 27. Now, we had a lot of fun with this video today, and I'd like to thank you for watching. However, I feel it's my personal responsibility to urge you all not to get a tattoo just above your genitalia of noted comic book character The Thing with a speech bubble that reads, "It's slobbering time." I'm Korean Beef 27, and I approve this message, and disapprove getting a tattoo just above your genitalia of The Thing with a speech bubble that reads, "It's slobbering time."
Hey, buddy, I got a quick question.
Yes, Human, I will do my best to answer.
On your world, you have technology vastly superior to ours, correct?
Yes, that is accurate.
So when are you going to share it with us?
When we can be 100% certain that you won't use it to murder or make mating weird.
Okay, that's fair.
Human, it's come to my attention that a very troubling anniversary is coming up, and I wanted to make sure you were okay.
What are you talking about, buddy?
Well, it's my understanding that in the next few days there will be a memorial for a truly catastrophic event in human history. It seems a group of individuals were expelled from their own country after trying to create an authoritarian regime, came to a new land and committed systematic genocide against the people there, paving the way for exploitation for generations to come that we still see today. How are you coping with such an important, traumatic moment?
With a feast.
A feast of...
Gratitude. You're welcome to join us if you wish.
No, I'm not hungry. Human, I see you are back from the hospital safely. I take it your operation was a success?
It was, buddy. They just took out my appendix.
I see. How will this deficit affect your day-to-day functions and lifestyle?
Oh, it won't. As far as we can tell, the appendix doesn't serve any purpose other than exploding at an arbitrary time, killing the host.
So your body contains superfluous, self-destructive organs?
Death is all around us. Only makes sense it would be inside of us, too.
Another terrifying yet accurate conclusion. Human, are you feeling well?
Not really, buddy, but it'll be okay.
Perhaps you should seek the aid of a medical professional.
Oh no, buddy, I really don't like going to the doctor. They might tell me something's wrong.
Yes, precisely. That is information you would want to acquire immediately, correct?
No, buddy. If they tell me something's wrong, then I'll have to deal with it, and that's the last thing I want to do.
Again, I must reiterate that is the first thing that you would want to do.
No, then I'm gonna have to get checked and do tests and take medicine. It's a lot easier just to ignore it.
It might be easier, but it's not better. What if your condition proves perilous?
Well, then all of my problems will be solved.
And a fair number of mine as well. No, you're going to the doctor!
No, you'll have to catch me first.
Tag, doctor! Human, is it true that there are rules and regulations on the way that you conduct warfare on each other? Yeah, countries are bound by the Geneva Convention, a series of treaties that outlaw particularly heinous acts during wartime. Acts such as what? Biological warfare, torturing prisoners, attacking civilians, targeting medical professionals, that sort of thing. Why then did they not come to the conclusion that all killing and violence and warfare should be illegal under international law? We're only focused on the really gross stuff. We just want to be murderers, not monsters. You must understand that by simply making that distinction, you have proven that there is none.
This video is sponsored in part by Cupid's Arrow, the safe and affordable tablet for erectile dysfunction. Go to cupidsarrow.com and use promo code BEEF for 15% off your first order. Cupid's Arrow, because life's not as hard when you are.
Okay. Millimeter.
Yeah.
Centimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Decimeter.
Correct.
Meter.
Indubitably.
Kilometer.
Wrong.
Wrong.
Wrong. Kilometer.
How dare you make me side with imperialism?
Human, shall we depart for our planned social gathering?
No, buddy. The planet is in the wrong position. The planet. It's in the incorrect spot. It's not facing the right way. It's not farther enough along the sun. It's all wrong. We'll leave when it's right.
When will the planet be correct to leave?
The radiation box in the kitchen will tell you.
Super. Human, why do younger members of your species sleep over their discarded teeth?
So a magical entity will buy their bones.
What?
Relax. I'm just kidding. That's just the narrative we tell them so their parents can buy their bones.
That is not less weird! Hello, human. What are you doing?
I was just about to snack on 15 entire tortillas. Would you like some?
Your plan is to casually consume and ingest 15 entire tortillas?
Well, not before I soak them in oil and cover them in a mild acidic paste and rotten milk.
I will pass. My appetite, much like my sanity, is gone.
Hey, buddy. I got you a Valentine's card.
Is this another barbaric ritual of yours?
No, buddy. Valentine's Day is simply a time when we let our relationships, both platonic and romantic, know how much we value them.
But what do you exchange to accomplish this?
Confectionaries, soft toys, flowers.
What about the origins?
Well, the precise origin is still a mystery and up for debate, but it's commonly recognized that a man named Saint Valentine gave gifts around to celebrate love in the face of oppression.
Really? That's all there is to it?
And then he was brutally murdered.
I knew it. Human, I see you have a new electronic simulation. May I ask, what is so endearing about these programs?
They're called video games, buddy. They're created worlds that are not governed by traditional laws, customs, or even physics. We like them so much because they allow us to experience our deepest and wildest fantasies.
I see. And what do you do in these fantastical worlds?
More often than not, commit acts of extreme and graphic violence.
Limitless possibilities of creation, and you choose acts of extreme violence.
There's a few sports games and a gardening one, but yeah, mostly the violence.
Why is this all you wish to do?
We're giving power back to the masses. Usually only our governments are allowed to get away with this much murder.
Hey buddy, I'm about to watch a terrible movie. Would you like to join me? What do you mean it's terrible?
It's terribly made. The acting is bad, the directing is bad, the script is bad. Its very existence is an insult to media and entertainment everywhere.
Then what enjoyment can we glean from something so obviously subpar? The enjoyment comes from the mockery and criticizing of the piece. Hundreds of people put in thousands of hours worth of work, and all of their efforts were rewarded with colossal failure. So we are to simply revel in the misfortune of others?
Oh, buddy, nothing makes you feel quite so tall as cutting down another.
And you wonder why your species hasn't grown in thousands of years.
Oh, so you do get it.
Human, I can assure you, your lack of growth brings me no joy. Human, I was going through our mail and I noticed this water bill.
Yeah, we have to pay for water.
What happens to those of you who are unable to pay for water?
They die, I guess.
Why have you placed these restrictions on water? It's one of the basic building blocks for all life on this planet, and it's an almost infinite resource that falls from the sky.
Buddy, if we gave everyone access to clean, potable water, how would we exploit them for their labor by threatening them with death?
Have you ever noticed that the only thing more horrifying than your answers are your questions?
Hey buddy, this time I've got a question for you.
Very well.
Why do you look exactly like me? Surely that can't be a coincidence.
Ah, I am a being of pure light. I can make you see whatever form I wish. I just figured this would be the simplest for you.
Does that mean you can look exactly like...
I can, but I will not.
Please? No.
Human, could you explain to me why the protagonists of these action features are required to pair witty dialogue with extreme acts of violence and hostility?
Quality improvisation makes murder more pleasurable to witness.
So its purpose is to make murder more exciting.
Well, nobody wants homicide to be mundane. That would just be awful.
Well, at least there's a line somewhere. A human, why were you required to display your automobile handling certificate when purchasing these beverages?
Well, you have to be above a certain age to purchase these because they're alcoholic.
But alcohol is an incredibly potent toxin. Why would you knowingly ingest it?
Well, we can mostly safely consume it in small quantities.
Well, how is it that you ascertain the appropriate amount?
Through experience and experimenting, you can find the amount that will disable your cognitive function temporarily rather than permanently.
It still seems like an incredible risk. Is the reward really worth it?
Oh, most definitely. It makes you dizzy.
I still have so much to learn. What ails you, human?
Oh, I worked out recently and now I'm sore.
Oh, it was my understanding the purpose of physical training was to make your body more powerful, not more vulnerable.
Oh, it is, but we can't become stronger unless we shred our muscle fibers apart and then let them grow back together.
There's no other way?
No, creation of the strong can only succeed the destruction of the weak.
Okay. Human?
Yeah, buddy.
Why do you always hesitate before entering the cleansing chamber?
Well, I need the molecules to vibrate at a specific frequency or I can't be comfortable.
Well, la-di-da, it's good to be king. Where are you going, human?
It's a nice day. I thought I'd go to the pool.
Oh, that term is unfamiliar to me. What is that?
It's a large basin full of water, chlorine, and human excrement.
And what do you do there?
Try not to drown or get radiation damage.
Well, have fun. Human, what was that game you were playing with your younger relative where you would poke them and they would laugh?
Oh, that's called tickling. Some people have sensitive areas on their body where light contact with them evokes laughter.
Oh, so you were creating a state of euphoria for them.
No, the laughter is deceptive. The sensation is incredibly unpleasant.
Do these sensitive areas exist on your body?
No, not at all.
Buddy, thanks for taking me on vacation. I'm excited to get to see your home planet.
The pleasure is mine, human. I will do whatever possible to help you feel more at home here during your stay.
Well, I am a little hungry from the trip.
Wonderful. I will take you to the location where you can be provided nutritional sustenance.
And what will that cost?
Oh no, we don't exchange credit for need here. The only qualification to receive it is the need itself.
Wait, you simply distribute resources to anyone who requires them? You don't hoard them and protect them under threat of horrendous violence until they can be exchanged for a certain amount of labor?
No, we found it's actually in our best interest to keep everyone alive.
Oh, but just barely alive, under slavery-like conditions that diminish with each passing year.
No, just regular alive.
Well, buddy, this doesn't feel like home at all.
Well, buddy, nuclear Armageddon could only occur if the leader of a nuclear nation decides that it's time for everyone on the planet to die 1,000 times over. Upon reaching this decision, he will call his subordinates and tell them to kill everyone on the planet, including themselves. And then his subordinates will say, "Yes, sir, because you told me to." And they will kill everyone on the planet. This news will then reach the leaders of the other nuclear nations, and they will say, "Oh, I guess it's time to kill everyone on the planet, including ourselves." At which point they will phone their subordinates, who will follow their orders and in turn kill everyone on the planet, including themselves, 1,000 times over.
And these nations' leaders, they are typically...
The most evil, corrupt, unstable people in the history of the world.
I see. I finally understand.
Human, I'm departing from my homeworld. This is my final farewell.
Buddy, are you leaving because of something I've done? Yes, it's because of everything you've done and said and believe.
Buddy, I know things aren't perfect here, but I can change. We can change. Could you give us another chance?
Oh, I know you can. But a second chance comes after proof of change, not before.
Well, what can I do? What do I need?
You simply need to reconnect with your humanity.
Well, thank you for everything, buddy. I'll never forget your example.
I'm truly grateful for our time together. Humans are many things, but interesting is always one of them.
I have returned with my findings on humanity and the planet Earth. Humans are young. They are full of passion, energy, and are capable of great things. But they require more time. And so at this time, I cannot recommend that we share with them our information on the following: immortality for dogs, cookies that give you abs, the location of the portal to the big titty goth girl dimension, or the completed video game Half-Life 3.
Hey everyone, thought I'd come at you today with a little alien roommate behind the scenes action. So I've seen this question a lot. What shirt is my alien roommate wearing? Is it a blouse? Is it a dress? What is it? So it's not actually a shirt. It's a vest. So hopefully you enjoyed this behind the scenes content, and let me know if you want me to record like this from now on. Alright, I gotta go. I can't breathe.